Hey traders, this is Christian from Hertz, and this is a quick midday summary. It is 11 o'clock on Tuesday, election day, and this is your summary from the Tribeca Trade Group. So, what do we got going on here? It's basically what we've been seeing almost every day. Buyers, a little bit of buying on the open, and then sellers come in and just kind of smack this market down. So that's pretty much how I've been trading some things. I took a shot at the Qs this morning. We talked about the Qs at the end of the day. Take a look at why I kind of took what I call a contrarian trade. You can see technology, $2.4 billion of outflows over the last week. Really, the ETF flows have been giving us a good sense of what's been going on here in this market. But yeah, $2.4 billion. And, look at the inflows going into consumer staples the last week. This is everything that we've been talking about. But I think this was pretty washed out this morning. So just to kind of demonstrate, what I did today, and I think probably that's the best example. I practice what I preach. I went into the Qs, December 171s, and I went out all the way to December because, I think the Qs are due for a little bit more of a bounce, and I'll be watching them today. But that was right at 9:32, and you can see I'm completely out of this trade. I took this trade. I said, well, this was at 9:53, so just 20 minutes later, out of the Qs. Nice profits, 590, paid 507. I probably would have done a little bit better if I would have done short term, if I want to micromanage myself. But we'll revisit after morning rotation, and that's how this has been working in terms of trading. You can see I've also taken some targets. I've had a Russell spread on where I sold put spreads. I'm starting to buy those back now. Really nice winning trade there as well. There was some chatter on NTNX. I like the chart in NTNX. It has come in, so it's faded. Again, that's why you take targets. I know it's an expensive option, so I just bought some shares. Not a lot, 200 shares, and I peeled off 70 for profits. But that's just the name of the game right now, is just making sure that you're taking targets. If we look over to sectors, it's kind of a hodgepodge of sectors. Again, just waiting to see how this kind of develops and waiting till the end of the day. I think really taking trades at the end of the day has been much better than trying to mess around with day trading. And I say this every day, unless you're really, really fast with scalping both on the put side and on the call side, you could do pretty well with this volatility. But if not, you can kind of just trade in the first half hour and then just sit and strategize and look for some trades at the end of the day. We do have the Mary Jane ETF. The cannabis ETF is up 3%, maybe a little bit of an election trade there. Other than that, it's just a mix. We've got materials up. We've got defense companies up a little bit. That's the ITA ETF is up 1%. Industrials, I will show there's been some a second day in a row of industrial call buying. Well, actually, I should not say call buying. Yesterday, there was a little bit of call buying. There's a spread that went up. They sold some puts, which you don't see right here. But and then there was a spread that went up 73.76. It actually looks like the spread was sold, but I would have to think that it's bullish positioning. I know sometimes we can't always tell if things have bought or sold, but 73.76 means basically a move, all through the value area. And you could use, if you like the industrials here, which is probably, again, I would kind of put in the categorize as a contrarian trade. I would use that 71.05 support and maybe set up for a call spread there. So that's what we're seeing there. We're also seeing a little bit of energy buying. XOP saw some calls. Also some RRC. If you wanted, same thing, almost the same looking chart, industrials and energy, believe it or not, even though I think energy has more back and fill and more support in here. But maybe use as a support if it gets inside a value of 37.20. Not there yet, but a nice chunky looking trade that went up in XOP this morning. And I would say sticking with that, here's the XOP trade right here, 6,000 of those, a total of 10,000 trading on the day. So that's about a half million notional trade there in call options. Also RRC, similar to what we saw in XLI, call spread bought, put sold in range resources. Not a bad looking chart, pretty sideways looking chart. I would say. A couple other names I mentioned, we saw a tiny bit of NTNX. I wouldn't even categorize. I'm not even going to show you the trade. I think it was like 20,000 notional. So we caught that right on the headline that there's chatter on the name. These chatter names, you never know. The majority of the chatter names are just that, chatter. So if you can manage to kind of scalp very quickly, that worked out decently. Healthcare is underperforming a little bit. I see XHE down. That's medical devices or medical equipment stocks. That's down. Also the XBI ETF. So that's lagging a little bit. And what's outperforming again are Dow stocks. Once things settled in, it was the Qs on the open, but Dow stocks. Once again, we've been talking about that. I like. We talked about this in the pre-market session that you get as a member. I'm watching Microsoft. I'm also watching a couple other names like Cisco. And again, I think waiting to the end of the day, you don't have to be in a rush at all here. A couple of the defensive names that I talked about, spent a lot of time talking about. Watch this Pepsi. It did give back early gains. Costco, I took my profits and ran this morning. Could it go higher? Yes, but if I get a nice winner, again, I'm basically hitting a lot of doubles right now. I'm not shooting for home runs, but this Costco was a hell of a trade that we put on yesterday. So again, watching some of those defensive names. KHC was a little trade that we put on yesterday. I thought there might be a seller capitulation going on here on that big volume on the last leg lower. I've been not able to hit a target yet in that one. AMD, which I think has an event today, was also strong in the early going. I'm not in that trade anymore in that one. So that's it. Quick 6-minute summary. Thanks for watching. We'll see how the rest of the day shapes up. I would say overall option activity is pretty quiet. There's just not a lot of big lumpy looking trades and not a lot of tickets either. It seems like they are taking a shot on a couple things, but again, it's not really giving us great signals as much as just watching prices. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.